She believed you'd always wait, that you'd remain stuck, wounded, searching for what once was. But something inside of you shifted. You no longer explained yourself. You stopped reacting. You didn't beg for closure. You embodied it. That stillness you carry now says more than any conversation ever could. That inner shift, she never saw it coming. And the truth is, when you walk away not to punish, but to evolve, the woman who didn't recognize your worth isn't left with regret. She's left with irrelevance. You gave your energy, you stayed loyal, you were consistent, present, and yet she slowly pulled away, tested your limits, ignored your presence like it was optional. You reached your threshold, and when you let go, she didn't flinch, not at first. She may have even felt validated in your absence, but she thought you'd come crawling back. Most do, right? That's where many lose themselves trying to prove their value to someone who already dismissed it. But you didn't fall into that trap, because what Priceless Mind teaches is this: you don't need to convince anyone of your worth once you know who you are. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If someone shows me I'm wrong, I'll change. I seek truth, not stubborn illusion." If you're new here, consider subscribing, especially if you're walking your own path of inner mastery. You feared losing her, but the real loss would have been losing yourself trying to please her. What unsettles her the most now isn't your anger, your absence, or your words. It's your quiet evolution. She expected emotional fireworks, an outburst, a message, a desperate plea. What she received was a man who found peace in the storm. And that kind of peace, that disturbs people, because it sends a message without you saying a word. I no longer need your approval. I no longer orbit your emotional chaos. You've become something beyond her reach. When your actions stop being reactions and start being reflections of principle, that's true power. That is Stoicism. That is self-respect. After all, Seneca wasn't wrong when he said, "You act like mortals in what you fear, and like immortals in what you desire." You feared losing her, but you didn't fear settling for less than you deserve, until now. If this message is resonating with you, type "Today I Can" in the comments, or even better, share a moment when you realized your peace meant more than being understood. What hurts her most now isn't what you're doing, it's what you're not doing anymore. You're not checking in, not justifying, not waiting. And when you no longer seek access to someone who undervalued you, you become the one with power. Let's break it down into 5 core Stoic truths that guide this transformation. First, hypergamy and silent tests. She may not have walked away completely. She may have been testing your strength, your value, your self-worth. Hypergamy isn't wrong, it's biological. But when your identity is dependent on her choosing you, you've already failed. The Stoic man doesn't try to outplay her instincts. He outgrows the game. He becomes so grounded in purpose that whether she stays or leaves doesn't shake his center.
Second, the Napoleon principle. Become untouchable. Napoleon Bonaparte was once dismissed by a woman he deeply cared for. When he rose to power, she came back begging. He gave her a cold nod and moved on. Not out of spite, but because he became someone immune to her validation. Your glow-up isn't revenge, it's detachment. You didn't change to prove a point. You changed because you realized you were never supposed to shrink for her love. Third, stop hurting yourself. Marcus said we suffer more in imagination than in reality. You're not just grieving her, you're grieving the image of her you built in your mind. That illusion is what's haunting you. Let it go. You forgive not to excuse, but to release. You cut the cord to unshackle yourself from the story. If you're finding strength in these words, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps us reach more men on this journey. Fourth, step into your selfish era. Not ego-driven, but soul-centered. For too long, your choices revolved around her reactions. You second-guessed yourself. You prioritized her feelings above your own evolution. But now, Your routine, your habits, your mission, they come first. You're not skipping the gym for a last-minute text. You're not breaking your focus to chase breadcrumbs. And the irony? When you stop bending for someone, they start noticing the strength you carried all along. She doesn't just notice. Everyone notices, because men grounded in self-respect shine differently. There's clarity in your eyes now, direction in your steps, and that energy, it attracts respect, not pity. Fifth, redefine your role in her narrative. Here's where the story turns. When you stop playing the role of the pursuer, she begins questioning her choices. The silence you leave behind echoes louder than any message you could send. She wonders where your attention went. She replays moments, texts, touches, and suddenly you're the enigma. The one who walked away with grace, not bitterness. That's the difference. You've become the chapter she can't rewrite. And the truth is, you didn't leave to punish. You left because you outgrew the version of yourself that tolerated emotional breadcrumbs. Her discomfort now, that's just her ego reacting to the absence of control. She wasn't ready for you to reclaim your power, but you did.
And this transformation? It's not temporary. It's a permanent shift. You're not seeking revenge. You're seeking peace. You're not playing games. You're building foundations. And by the time she realizes what she had, the man you are now wouldn't even entertain who she used to be. That's the essence of Stoicism. It's not passivity. It's power without noise. Stillness without weakness. Detachment without indifference. You care, but you care more about your purpose than her approval. So what truly hurts a woman who didn't value you? It's not your rage. It's not your absence. It's your evolution. Because once you stop needing her, once your worth becomes internal, she loses access to the version of you who made her the center of everything. Now she's outside the gates. And you're building a kingdom within. And make no mistake, she feels it. Your peace becomes her discomfort. Your silence becomes her anxiety. Your detachment becomes her mirror. Not because you're being cruel, but because you're finally being loyal to yourself. You stopped explaining, you stopped proving. And when she circles back, curious or regretful, she'll be met with someone she can no longer reach. The one who once overextended has disappeared. In his place stands a man shaped by discipline, clarity, and deep-rooted strength. This is what Priceless Mind stands for. Not reaction, but realization. Not bitterness, but becoming. And now you move with calm, with focus, with quiet fire. Don't look back. Don't shrink. Don't explain. You're not who you were. You've earned your stillness. Own it. Let this message echo in your actions. Let your silence speak your boundaries. Let your transformation be your response. And if you feel these words waking something within you, if they remind you of your own story, write "Today I Can" below, or share that moment when you chose peace over proving a point. There comes a moment in every man's journey where he realizes chasing love is not the same as honoring love. You can love deeply and still walk away. You can care and still choose distance. Because peace isn't found in proving your worth. It's found in protecting it. You weren't weak for giving her your best. You weren't foolish for hoping she'd see it. What mattered is that now you see it. And that vision of who you are, what you carry, and what you deserve is the beginning of everything. You didn't lose her. You found yourself. And maybe that's what hurts her most. Because while she assumed you'd always be there, waiting, reaching, hoping, You quietly became the version of yourself who no longer settles for being misunderstood. Your growth created a gap, not out of malice, but from momentum. You moved forward, and now your silence says, that version of me is gone. The one who begged, who explained, who stayed despite being unseen, he no longer exists. What remains is a man who understands value, his own first. A man who builds in silence and walks in strength. That's the man who doesn't need to announce his worth. He simply lives it.
She may return one day, looking for the pieces she once ignored. But all she'll find is echoes, memories of the man she didn't appreciate, and the quiet presence of the one she no longer has access to. And when she wonders how she lost you, the answer won't be in a moment. It will be in all the moments she chose not to see you, not to hear you, not to value you. And by the time realization sets in, the distance won't be about miles. It'll be about mindset. You've transcended the old dynamic. You've stepped into your own. So ask yourself today, who are you becoming when no one's watching? What version of you is emerging in the silence? That's where your power is. Not in chasing, not in waiting, but in becoming. And if this message resonated with you, if you feel something stirring inside, don't just listen. Take action. Subscribe to Priceless Mind for more truths like this, and step into your own evolution. Let others chase chaos. You build peace. Let others seek validation. You live in self-awareness. Let others hold on. You release and rise. And as always, if you found strength in this journey, consider sharing this video, leaving your like, and writing in the comments what part of this message hit hardest. Or just type, "Today I can." Because from this moment forward, everything changes. You are not who you were. And that's your power.